Hallo nochmal. Okay, wir machen heute weiter mit dem Genitiv. Das ist natürlich der vierte von unseren Fällen. Und ihr habt schon gelernt, dass das der Wessen-Fall ist. Hi everyone. So we're going to continue with genitive. And of course that is the fourth of our four cases. And in this case we have wessen as your question word. Wessen, of course, means whose. So whenever we had all those who questions, this is the one that you were missing. So if I ask you, wessen, tada, Wasserflasche ist das, talking about this thing right here, you would then answer what? You could answer very easily, das ist Frau Bussmanns. Oops, I'm missing my ist. Frau Bussmanns Wasserflasche. Okay, adding the S to the end of a name, of course, really, really easy. Or you could say that is the water bottle of the teacher. So, das ist, I'm not writing well today, das ist die Wasserflasche der Lehrerin. Okay, so going into your genitive case with your der, even though this is feminine. Okay, keep in mind, again, word order is important. When you have a name, it functions just like the English. You're going to have Frau Bussmann's water bottle. If you have something other than a name, even a descriptor of a person, so just anything that is not a name, it's going to be reversed word order. So you're going to have the water bottle of the teacher, right? Same function as in English when you're adding the word of. Now I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a funny sentence because this is something Germans like to do with genitive quite a bit. Der Dativ ist dem Genitiv sein Tod. So what Germans love to do is use possessive pronouns or possessive adjectives in place of dative case, in place of genitive case. So we're using dative, dem Genitiv, along with a possessive. So this says the dative is the death of genitive. Of course, that is not good grammar at all. And what we're going to do really quick is just reverse that. So, in order to do that, we're going to look at all of the different parts. So here's our three parts we're looking at. Alright, so first of all, we're going to look at gender. The cases of gender are masculine. Okay. Tod is death, is also masculine, and of course this one we have is masculine. Now that first part of the sentence stays exactly the same. We're not going to do anything about der Dativ. That's in nominative case. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to move our verb down. Also nothing wrong with that. This is the part where we're using some funky grammar in order to make that happen. So we have Genitiv, which is not a name. It's a proper noun, but it's not a name of a person. So we're not going to use it as a name. So this is the part that has to be marked as genitive case because the death belongs to the genitive. So we have to move this part up. So we're going to just write Tod and leave a little bit of space. And then you've got something masculine. So if you look at your case chart right now, something masculine, what ending do we have to have on the der word? Okay, hopefully you got that. Des. Genitiv, and we're adding that second S. Now we're missing a der word right here. Der Dativ ist. Now are we going to say den or der? So this is der, and that's because we've got the verb to be followed by der. Des is marked as genitive case. This shows possession of der Tod. And dative is subject completion. Lots of fun grammar just in one little sentence. So if you can remember nothing else, just remember that Germans like to use possessive adjectives in place of genitive case. But if you were to reverse this sentence, der Dativ ist dem Genitiv sein Tod, and make it accurate, you would say, der Dativ ist der Tod des Genitivs. That was just for a little bit of fun. We do have to keep going with more grammar, and we have to make sure that we finish out the genitive case today. Before we get really, really busy and into more grammar itself and learn something new, I want you guys to actually practice with each other today. So I want each of you to find a partner. I know there's 5 of you, so there's going to be one group of 3 and one group of 2, and grab one of the textbooks from the back shelf, so the light blue Treffpunkt textbooks. Okay, and I want you to flip to page 289. There's a quick activity that's using a lot of the vocab, and it's wessen Handschuhe sind das? So I want you guys to orally just go through and practice forming the genitive case. Let me show you what it looks like. This is the page you're looking at, and there's an example for you. So you have an image. In this case, they're already giving you the word, but at the bottom there's a word bank for each section. You've got another prompt for the answer. So mein blank Schwester. The first person is going to ask, wessen Handschuhe sind das? So forming it into a sentence using wessen. The second person then has to answer, das sind, or das ist, depending on if it's singular or plural, die Handschuhe meiner, adding that genitive ending, Schwester. And then I want you guys to swap, so then the person that answered is going to ask the next question. So wessen, whatever this may be, ist das or sind das, and then answer, making sure that you have the correct primary ending right there. Okay, let me know if you guys have questions. When you're done, keep going with the video. Alright, so hopefully you guys practiced. All of that vocabulary is on the second vocab sheet, or the new vocab sheet, which has Wortschatz 2 at the top. If you haven't picked it up yet, make sure that you get it from me today. It is partly going to be on the test that you guys have coming up. Okay, the very last thing that we need to look at are the adjective endings for the genitive case. Now, these are actually really, really easy. If you look at the case chart really quick, you will see that the secondary endings, so that's the bottom triangle on the case chart each time, those secondary endings, they are all ends. Okay, every single one of those is an end. So if I say something like, the young man's blue jacket, die blaue Jacke. Okay, that's just the blue jacket, has nothing to do with genitive yet. And then I'm going to say des, here's my genitive ending. Jungen, there's your en, and Mannes. And there's your second n, or second s. And of course we've got the extra e because it is a single syllable word. Now, of course, that's just the beginning of a sentence. So all of your adjectives are going to have that n ending or en ending. Now remember, whenever you have more than one adjective, they all follow the same ending. So I can make this des Jungen, guten, lieben, schönen. Doesn't matter how many I do, keep going forever, Mannes. So that s plus s always is primary ending on your ein word or der word. That second s always applies to the noun that is being modified itself. And all of the adjectives, no matter how many there are going to have that same ending. Okay, they all get an en in this case, or an n ending. All right, I'm going to have you guys practice this. I do want you guys to work in pairs rather than working alone. If, of course, again, there's a group of 3. If you prefer to work alone, please make sure that you work alone, but that you then check your answers with another person. So this is on page 261 of your spiral. I want you guys to go through and fill in the missing endings. So they're not always giving you guys the genders. The expectation is that you know some of them, like Schwester or sister. Hopefully you guys all know that that's feminine. I'm going to do that one with you. They're all genitive endings. You have Einwords and you have adjectives. So der neue Freund, mein Jünger, Schwester ist Österreicher. So the new boyfriend or friend of my sister, my younger sister, is Austrian. So, mein is your primary word or your ein word. In this case, you're using a primary ending. It's feminine, so look at your chart. Er, der neue Freund, meiner. Then you've got an adjective. So, meiner Jüngerin. All of those are in. Schwester ist Österreicher. You got to go through and do the rest of them. Make sure you're paying attention to see if it's more than one adjective. And, of course, fill in your S's on your nouns if needed. All right, lastly, just to make sure that you guys catch it, make sure that you're studying this week and reviewing all of the different content. That includes the zu infinitives, the prepositions and time phrases, and now genitive case. So those three things and all of your vocab from chapter 8. You will be tested on that on Monday. So that is Monday the 19th. You will have a test on the rest of chapter 8.